I was thinking a little about what you said last time, about why there should be a God or creator, because of the astronomical odds and facts. I don't think it's that astronomical.
Really? And why do you say that?
Well, because it happened, it's been actualized. And constrained situations had to make it that way. Given the amount of time, it was bound to happen at some point.
Do you even know some examples of the astronomical odds and facts that make blind undirected accidents impossible to have ever caused all this? The solar systems and Earth?
Well, I have some idea from what I've heard and read from creationists and theists. Like you mentioned, the right distances and proportions. The point is natural laws constrained it.
I don't think you have a real true idea, or clear picture, of the horrible odds and circumstances. Let me tell you, that makes the case for an outside intelligence and designer.
Yeah, okay. Such as?
Well, let me just say, one good way to spotlight and highlight the fantastic religious faith that all atheists and Darwinists have, is to show just how marvelous accidental blind chance actually is. It surpasses anything in the Genesis account of creation. If all this came about with no outside intelligence or interference, well, that would be an even greater miracle.
Well, come on, I mean, that's a bit extreme. You're overstating it. I mean, I really doubt it. We deal with what we can study and observe, the material world. Not magic.
You'll see I'm not exaggerating. And nothing's being overstated. And it's more than just one thing that had to converge just right, for there to be any kind of life.
Okay, well, tell me. Why is it so astronomical? Or impossible?
For example, 1. The distance between the planets follows a mathematical ratio, with the 4 inner planets having iron and rock. Where a planet should be, the asteroid belt, there are broken pieces of what was a planet. Question: how did some planets break apart, and the others, like the Earth, some planets nearer the Sun, some farther away from the Sun, maintain their cohesion, and stay together unbroken?
Well, I never denied that some of this stuff was luck or chance, in a sense, but randomness within constrained events, and some of that stuff will stay unbroken.
Yeah, okay. Well, how about this here, too? If the Earth rotated at 1/10 the speed that it does, the Sun would burn up all the vegetation in the summer, during the day, and then freeze it at night. If it missed burning it up at day, it would have 240 hours in a day to do the dirty work either way.
Well, okay, that's just Goldilocks again. The rotational speed was adjusted. I mean, okay. Do you even know how big the universe is, and how much time passed? For I mean, alright.
Doesn't really matter and explain everything. Check this out. 3. If the Earth was 1/10 closer to the Sun, the Earth would roast and burn up in a solar furnace. 4. If the Moon was 75,000 miles away from your head, instead of 240,000 miles, then ocean tides would go clean over the entire continents twice a day. And everyone would be drowned. Aren't accidents grand? To make things so precise, blindly.
Well, again, I mean, okay, I admit that it's amazing stuff in a way, but that does not mean that a magical being or some divine god did it. I mean, the Moon got there by being formed from a collision between the forming Earth and another forming planet.
That's just speculation, assumption, and circular reasoning by committed atheists. There's no real solid proof for that conjecture. And that's the problem with atheists.
Okay, well, I read that evidence suggests that that's how the Moon got there.
Yeah, by accident? With no outside intelligent direction to set it up that way? How the Moon got there? And in just the right location, mass, distance, ratio, density, size, shape.
Goldilocks?
Yeah, this one is just right, huh, luckily. That's chance, kid. Okay, well, I'm not finished. How did the Earth get so ideally adjusted when the other planets did not?
Well, that's the point. It all goes back to, okay, I mean, how do you know for sure that there are not other planets in the universe that also got adjusted?
Haha, there's no evidence for that. Remember? You are supposedly going by evidence? And not just assumption and wishful thinking. Anyway, 5. If the crust of the Earth were 10 feet thicker, the metallic elements in the crust would combine with all of the oxygen in the atmosphere, and nothing could live.
Well, I'll have to check up on that one. I don't think I heard exactly that.
Yes, check it. Really look into that. There would be no plants in the ocean if it were 20 feet deeper, because they would absorb so much carbon dioxide they couldn't make it. Let me tell you. Even in 1946, when not everything was even known, the former president of the New York Academy of Sciences said there was not one chance in 900 million, that life on our planet was an accident. He didn't know the half of it or the eighth of it. There was not one chance in 1,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000, etc. 1 in 10 to the 300th power, that it could have been. And that's being generous.
Are you sure about that? I mean, where do you get that from?
Those are calculations by mathematicians and scientists who aren't even creationists. Either agnostics or outright evolutionists. Anyway, 6. Nitrogen and oxygen consist in the same proportion at sea level and on mountain tops. Change it to N2O2, nitrous oxide, and the air would be laughing gas. How do you explain a ball of lava, which is what atheists say the Earth was, at 6,000 degrees, cooling to the correct proportion of nitrogen and oxygen to bear life?
Well, nature done it. Goldilocks eventually, you know.
Right. 7. If the nitrogen were heavier than the oxygen, the whole Earth would be covered with gas. If it were N2 would dissolve in water as nitric acid, and then wherever on Earth that nitric acid touched sulfur or glycerin, it would turn into nitroglycerin. Just think what accidental blind chance did when it slung the Earth out of the sun. My, what mathematical precision, accidentally. My, what thoughtfulness, accidentally. 8. If the diameter of the Earth was 7,200 miles instead of the 8,000 miles that it is, the whole Earth would be frozen ice and snow.
Okay, I understand that, but where's your absolute observable proof that A, there's a supreme God, and B, that he himself put everything together correctly this way?
That's why I said strong implications, for intelligent direction. It's not just life formation, but all of it. 9. If the average temperature of the Earth went up 15 degrees, the polar caps would melt, and all the populated cities on the coasts of the United States would be flooded and drowned. 10. If the ozone layer, 40 miles up, were compressed, it would only be 1/4 of an inch thick, yet it knocks out 8 lethal rays from the sun. If the ozone layer lacked 1 or 2 atoms of oxygen suddenly, then every man and animal would have horrible skin cancer within a year. And there'd eventually be no life on the planet. Boy, did accidental chance ever figure that one out right. Prelude. Postlude. It takes 1,000 times more faith to be an atheist or evolutionist than it takes to be a Bible-believing Christian. But atheists and Darwinists do not have real sound faith, but rather unsound blind credulity.
No. We go by the available material evidence. We don't claim to know everything, but we don't assume that it had to be a divine magic man above the heavens or something.
Remember, strong implications there, that atheists love to deny. Like one protein molecule has over 200 things in it. These structures have to be organized into the right systems, and must be protected while doing it. Design is so apparent, in even the lowest protein molecule, so as to exclude any notion of chance or accidents. Never mind impossibly complicated DNA.
Well, nature, you know. There's a certain intelligence in natural elements, and natural laws. That's the material world.
Well, when some atheists say it was not chance, it's not chance, even though Carl Sagan, Jacques Monod, and Stephen Jay Gould explicitly said that this all came about by chance, and randomness, and accidents, but when many atheist drones, on the internet, or in discussions, or debates today, neurotically and dishonestly say, oh, it's not chance, because of natural selection or because physical elements have intelligence, and tend toward life. That is, nature done it, which is a form of pantheism. You have cloaked physical matter with the attributes of deity. The atheist myth of abiogenesis is just one of a number of examples. Life coming from dead lifeless chemicals and rocks, with no outside intelligence or designer. Natural elements themselves done it. Physical matter has intelligence, and tends towards life. Pantheism. But they ignore that mutations are chance occurrences. All atheists who deny that it's blind chance have made themselves pantheists, whether they admit it or not. And some have admitted it, and then talk about the laws of physics, believing the material world and universe are somehow divine and make organized intricate systems and life itself, all on its own, as if nature itself were a god, or goddess.
Well, come on, I wouldn't go that far. I mean.
Yet still these desperate religious evolutionist fundamentalists talk about pristine mud from infinity, Anaximander, and mind stuff, Diogenes, and Biophors, Wiseman, and vitalized molecules, Spencer, or gemmules, Darwin, saying they're possessed with an affinity for each other. So they acted, as if they had intelligence. You believe in even more amazing miracles than biblical Christians do. And you have the nerve to say that hardcore atheists are not religious, or don't believe in miracles. That's funny.
Lol.